I was thinking the biggest gamble in Malaysian politics isn't really about winning power anymore. It feels like it's much more about how you actually plan to keep it.
Hmm.
And right now, it honestly feels like our Prime Minister, Anwar Ibrahim, is facing this massive choice, one that could really define his entire legacy.
It's a huge weight, definitely.
Yeah, it's almost like imagine trying to keep a huge family business afloat, But your partners, they all have totally different ideas about where things should go.
And trust is everything, and
Well,
very fragile.
exactly. Trust is the currency. The stakes are just incredibly high, and these strategies they're debating, they're not just talk. They hit us right in our ringgit.
Absolutely. It affects the economy, stability,
Yeah.
everything.
So, looking ahead to the 16th general election, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and his party, Pakatan Harapan, they're really at a crossroads.
A critical one.
Should they try to go it alone, bet on their own strength, or stick with the current coalition plan?
It's the million ringgit question, isn't it?
It really is. And this isn't just political games, right? It's about the nation's stability, the future direction. What do you think?
Seriously, is it better for a leader to bank on solo strength, or is sticking together, even if it's complicated, the safer bet here?
Well, it's a complex calculation.
Okay, let's try and unpack some of this. We have Khairy Jamaluddin, the former UMNO Youth chief, weighing in.
Right. His perspective is quite interesting.
He believes Anwar is at this really critical point. He suggests, look, Pakatan Harapan going solo. Yeah, maybe they sweep Peninsular Malaysia.
An overwhelming victory, potentially.
But then what? He says it introduces huge uncertainty for governing in Sabah and Sarawak if you don't have those broader alliances locked down.
And that's Kerry's core point. Anwar wants a second term. He seems determined, given his health. The work he feels is unfinished.
Understandable.
But Kerry warns, if Pakatan Harapan goes it alone, you risk this triangular battle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does chasing that dominant win end up fracturing the support you actually need to govern effectively? That's the danger he's pointing out.
And Kerry Austin has this, unique insight into how voters think at the grassroots level.
He does seem quite attuned to that.
He points out a specific risk. Some Barisan Nasional supporters might actually end up voting for Perikatan Nasional candidates.
Especially in certain areas.
Right, maybe because of lingering worries or perceptions about the Democratic Action Party. It just shows how complicated voter loyalties are down there.
It really does. But then you have the flip side, too.
Which is?
Well, conversely, some Pakatan Harapan voters might actually prefer to vote for Barisan Nasional rather than Perikatan Nasional.
Ah, okay. Because of opposition to PAS governance, perhaps.
Largely, yes.
Yeah.
That seems to be a major factor for some segments. And this vote transfer thing is key. What Kerry really highlights, and I think this is genuinely insightful, is the lack of real connection, real cooperation between Parti Keadilan Rakyat and UMNO at the division level.
So the leaders are united, but on the ground.
On the ground, Kerry says they often act like enemies, which causes huge problems for transferring votes smoothly.
Wow. So allies at the top, but rivals where it counts, at the ballot box.
Essentially, yes. It reveals that top-level unity means very little if it doesn't translate downwards.
We've kind of seen the consequences of this fragmentation before, haven't we? The 2022 election.
November 19th, yes. Led straight to a hung parliament.
And the current unity government was only formed because Barisan Nasional, Sabah, and Sarawak came on board.
Under the advice of the then king, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong.
It just highlights how necessary these alliances seem to be in our current political landscape.
But then you have a completely different message coming from Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi.
The UMNO president and Barisan Nasional chair. What's he saying?
Well, he's been very clear. Despite hearing calls from within his own party for Barisan Nasional to contest independently.
Which you'd expect, maybe some unhappiness.
Sure. But Zahid says, no, they firmly plan to maintain the alliance with Pakatan Harapan for future elections.
That's a strong statement, a direct contrast to Kerry's analysis of the risks.
It is. It signals a belief, at least from Zahid's perspective, that the current unity structure offers the best path forward. Maybe prioritizing that coalition strength over the risks of going solo, even with internal pressures.
It's such a fascinating split, isn't it? Kerry focusing on the ground-level risks, the need for real grassroots unity.
While Zahid makes this firm top-level declaration that the alliance is the way forward.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how much those leadership intentions actually filter down and influence voters, especially with all the complexities we just talked about, vote transfers, old loyalties.
It's the gap between strategy and reality, perhaps.
So ultimately, this dilemma, go solo or stick together, and the strategies behind it, they aren't just academic debates for political analysts.
Not at all.
They hit right at the heart of our government's stability, the direction our nation takes. It's about power, sure, but maybe more deeply, it's about whether the path chosen actually builds something lasting.
Or just sets us up for the next political earthquake.
Something to really think about. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.